Welcome back to the podcast. Today we have Abbie Hernandez. Let's put some music behind that.
Yeah, totally.
Flashing lights. So introduce yourself. Who are you today? I know you're going to be president one day, but
We'll see.
what all is Abbie Hernandez? It's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Lived here in Alton Godfrey my entire life. Did a little stint in Madison for a little bit, but came back here. Went to St. Peter Paul in Alton, went to Marquette in Alton. I'm at SIUE right now doing my degree in business administration with specializations in marketing and entrepreneurship, and also a minor in digital art and a focus in Spanish. So kind of all over the place, but it's a lot of fun. I work for the Growth Association right now, helping out with all their social media and kind of their digital marketing materials.
Yeah. And you still got T&I this summer?
I wish.
You wish.
But I'm working on campus this summer. So.
That's good.
But I might make a guest appearance there. Who knows?
I mean, of course. You're a celebrity just for the day. So, yeah, you have a lot on your plate. And you've always, I feel like since I've known you, I mean, of course, you can't do that much in high school. But as soon as you were able to do as many things as possible, you're like doing everything constantly. And it's kind of like, I would watch you and I'm like, dang, I wish I had that much energy. Like,
I wish I had that much energy too sometimes.
You just do it.
Yeah.
So what fuels your passion?
For me, it's just seeing the impact I can make on other people. And for me, a big thing, my photography is huge for me because for me, photographs last a lifetime and they're passed down through generations. I'm huge on the ancestry and genealogy stuff.
Yeah.
And when I've been going back and doing my family stuff, I've found pictures from back in the 1800s of family members, and it just proves how long that stuff has an impact. So
yeah,
that's a huge thing for me.
Yeah, that's like one of the big driving forces of why I'm in my career too, is not only like because of death, that's morbid, but it's true. It's like you want to have stuff if you ever die, and then just historical. Like there's some moments like when we get to do bigger like local events, I'm like, maybe this is going to end up on the Alton History group page, you know, in like 20 years. Like, but yeah, photography's fun. So when did you first like get into photography?
So there's kind of a little bit of backstory behind it. So I was in 8th grade and I was home with the flu and I was going nuts being stuck inside. And my aunt had just given me her old camera that she had in her closet, and my mom was at work and I got mad and didn't want to be stuck inside anymore. So I went outside and started taking pictures of the bushes, and that's how I got started.
I wish you still had those photos.
I do.
You need to frame one.
I know, I'm going to.
Put it on your desk. I think like my first photos I took, I mean, of course, I grew up in the age of the multiple colors of the digital cameras. I feel like you're pretty close to that age too, but I always had like a little digital camera. But the first DSLR, I think I took snow photos. They're buried somewhere on Facebook. There's so much on Facebook. But so when did it grow from just being like a hobby into like, okay, this is potentially something I can make money at?
So for me, it was when I started at Marquette. I had been kind of iffy on being part of the yearbook, and then I had Emily Wilson. She was a senior at the time, and she was in charge of the yearbook, and she's like, hey, like, let's go take pictures together, and she really pushed me to kind of go onto the field and start doing those pictures, and that's pretty much the moment that really kicked it off for me. And after that, one of our family friends asked me to do senior pictures for a son, and I actually ended up doing them for their daughter too, who's my age later on. And that was kind of the big 2 moments for me where I realized I could really do something with it.
Being a photographer, you not only have to know how to work the camera, I say anyone can learn how to work a camera and take pictures. It's all about personality and how you interact with people. So you're marvelous at it, obviously, for what you're doing right now outside of photography and just photography itself. But was there any like things that you did like as a child that helped you build that confidence of being able to talk to like strangers or like just be nice to everyone?
So I did Taekwondo for a really long time.
There we go.
And that was kind of my point where, because it's very strict, very military style, but you learn how to be respectful to people, and it instills discipline in you. And that was a big thing for me to help me out with being able to interact with people and be respectful. But for me, I also read a lot of books when I was little, so I was able to get kind of a little bit, relax a little bit because of that stuff too. So
that's good. So what tips do you have specifically in photography would you give little 14-year-old Abbie from today? Like to make it go a little bit smoother that you learned along the way?
Don't be afraid to talk too much because people think it's funny.
All right.
Yeah, that's been I get in a really bad habit of loading myself up on caffeine before sessions, so I am talking miles a minute, but
Yeah.
and then just don't take it too seriously.
Oh yeah.
It's fun. It's
Yeah.
not. Don't think of it as a job.
No.
So.
Yeah, that's like the hard part of being a creative job is that you can ruin it for yourself real easy. You have to like constantly keep your enjoyment and happiness top tier, and then their happiness too. I mean, since they're paying you money, but what are your hopes for the community? Like, what else are your goals for like community involvement? Like, as you become more powerful and knowledgeable.
So for me, I'm hoping to get involved with a few other organizations. I plan on staying in this area for the rest of my life, so making those positive impacts is something that I definitely want to do.
Yeah, are there any like specific parts of the community that you like to influence more than others?
Really just like organizations that have to do with the overall of the area, if that makes sense. So like how the Growth Association does, and then environmental organizations too.
Yeah.
Huge in.
So talk a little bit about the Nature Institute and
Okay.
from the beginning of being a wee little tot in camp to being one of the, I feel, superstars. They put you on camera a lot. No, they're like, she's confident. Get on up there.
Yeah, so I started going to T9 when I was 5 years old. I took a break for a few years because I went to a different camp, but I was ultimately drawn back to the T9. It's just a huge part of who I am, and
Let me guess what that other camp was. Onasong?
yeah,
Yep.
I worked there for half a summer, and then, but T&I was ultimately the place where I wanted to be.
I feel like every local kid around here had to have an Onasong. All my best friends, I didn't experience it, but all of my best friends went there, so I heard that's a whole culture.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is.
The experience. No, yeah. But yeah, T&I it's my definitely happy place. I love taking people out there for sessions, and they're like, I haven't been here since preschool
Me
field
too.
trip. And I'm like, well, you should come here more. How's your experience with Riverbend Growth Association been? I feel like it's pushed you. I mean, you're already pretty comfortable in the community, but I feel like it's even pushed you even farther interacting with everyone.
Yeah, it definitely has. I mean, over 400 member businesses. It's crazy. I've gotten to meet so many awesome people in the community and getting to work with them and help them kind of boost their organizations too. I mean, one of the coolest experiences that I just got to have was I got to help make a logo for a new business, and I was nervous about how I did it because it's something that I'm just learning how to do, and they ended up loving it, so that was a really good feeling.
That's just the saying of just be confident.
Yeah.
Just don't have self or imposter syndrome. Yeah,
definitely.
I'll get that a lot. What's been your favorite like moments? Like, what are your favorite things to go do? Is it like the out and about stuff, or like more working in the office?
I definitely like the out and about stuff because I love meeting people, and for me, this has just been a huge networking experience and getting to make those connections within the community. And I love going out and visiting the member businesses, getting to talk with them, and working on some content for them. And
yeah, I think it's huge. I think I don't know. There's no other staff, I don't think, but you've definitely become like one of like them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're one of the faces now that people can go to, not just like with their what was it called? I was a part of it. Brain
Ambassador Committee.
Ambassador Committee.
There you go.
Those are, I feel like you've even surpassed that.
Thank
and people recognizing you and being comfortable going up and talking to you. So I'm like, as soon as they said your name, and whenever I was in the meetings a lot, I was like, y'all be ready. And every time I see you, I probably am embarrassing like a grandma, like over in the corner, like, oh, my sweetie, she's doing it. She's doing it. You watch out. She's going to take over. But I'm excited. I've always been like my big thing is like any type of field you want to end up in. But if you have passion, and I saw your passion real young, I was like, I'm going to fan this shit. You got this. Like, you're going to be massive. So it's just about staying consistent and just doing it. What do you do whenever, or I don't know. It's so fun talking to other people because I feel like some people don't even have stress at all, but do you have stress or like moments where it's like overwhelming? So I don't feel like
but yes and no. I mean, it's something for me. I'm just continuously going.
Yeah, it's all good. We'll check it. Power editing.
Yeah. But sure, it's plugged in. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, I mean, it's just something that's kind of I'm always going, so there's not really stress per se, but it's just I like having a fast pace.
Yeah. So how do you deal with like your schedule and everything like that? Do you have like a really meticulous like schedule?
Yeah, so I'm Google Calendar Queen. Color-coded, I have multiple calendars for all my accounts because I have my photography account and all that too. And I also have a planner that I use, and it's all color-coded too. I love colors, so.
How does your family and friends and relationship deal with that? Because I feel
that's a good question.
I feel like they just see you when they see you. Like,
yeah, I feel really bad about it, but
yeah,
I just have so much stuff going on, and I also commute to school right now,
Yeah.
so I'm just kind of all over the place, but we make it work.
Yeah. So do you ever like specifically set out time where it's like, okay, this is just to rest or to recuperate?
I usually try Sundays. It doesn't always work out that way because I used to have my sororities chapter on the evening, but during the summer, I usually try and make weekends calmer.
That's good. Yeah, because that's real important. I see a lot of people in our profession specifically where we could be all corporate all week and then fill our weekends with family stuff, and then we get no time off at all.
Yeah.
So like Mondays are my days. Normally I'm just like, what should in my fancy planner it said, take care of me, Mom, because she's always a priority, and then do nothing out of big old X.
Yeah.
But I didn't see that after I made my separate little like check off list, and I had put a full list on my day, and I was like, and I got most of it done before I got to my other planner, and I was like, oh, well, I guess we can be done for today. That's good enough. So let's go back to school. I don't want to go back to school. That stuff stresses me out. Like, I purposely did not go to college because I still have nightmares about high school. But even though I had the best time in high school, I just don't like learning in that type of way. But how many more years do you have in school?
I have 2 more years my undergrad, and then I'll probably have 2 years for grad school. And if I decide to go after that, who knows?
I feel like you probably will.
I probably will. I'm the kind of person that likes being in school.
Yeah.
I was telling my family I'm probably going to be the person that just keeps going back and get random degrees because I like being in school. So
yeah, one of my people that I'm going to interview next week, she's I always call her my business partner, but we don't have no business together. But she's a part of like Illinois Federation of Business Women, and she works for Scott Air Force Base, like does all these like really cool things. But then she's still going back to school constantly, and she's a little bit older, but it's like that's what I feel like I could see you doing, just like constantly for the rest of your life. Zane's sister Sarah, she's like going back for God knows what. I think a master's degree.
Yeah, she just finished accounting.
I'm like, I don't even want to think about it like that.
Yeah.
No.
No, I do the opposite end of that, where I get to do all the creative stuff.
Yeah,
I'm in the same building as all the accounting, and I'm like, no, thank you.
I'm like, I'm glad I can like call you when stuff doesn't make sense with taxes. I'm like, are these numbers right? Like Zane's was weird this year, and she's like, yeah, that's right. I was like, okay, cool, thank you, love you, bye. But no, it was like, so what kind of classes do you take? Like, what's the hardest class you have to take? Probably math, or
I thankfully got all those done.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, accidentally took one last semester that was online, 8-week asynchronous. Did not realize it was 8 weeks, so that was a trip.
That
but
sucks. At least you got a little credit for it. Yeah.
I got 4 credit hours out of it, so
yeah,
that was good.
What's the funnest class that you like get the most enjoyment?
That's really difficult because I like a bunch of my classes for different reasons. I would say probably my photography classes I get to take, because what they do at SAUE is they have graduate students teach those classes, and they bring the one that I had. Was absolutely awesome. She brought in people from all over the world to talk with us. Like, I got to meet with a photographer from National Geographic in Thailand, and another one who just did pictures for, I think it was the Oscars, and she's just like the people I got to meet through that was awesome too.
That's cool. And was that the same class that you did your photo project of the community?
Yes.
That was real cool.
Thank you.
So, she got to do, was it 10 people?
I think it was
or
like 14.
14 people, and you went into their space, which I brought you in.
Yeah.
I was all sweaty and haggard. I was like, let's do this thing. It was a crazy day.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it all ended up in Jacoby, and it stayed there for how many weeks? Or
I don't remember. It was for
quite some time.
Community showcase.
But yeah, it was really cool. And that class definitely gave you that opportunity to like push you into something that you would have probably eventually done, but it was cool that you did it then.
Yeah, I've had that idea for a while because that was right around when I first found out I'd start working for the Growth Association and small business. Like, I love small business, and I really wanted to showcase kind of our area and give a little backstory. And So what I had the business owners do is I had them fill out a Google form with questions about themselves, and then I put it all in a book so that way people could read through it before
Nice.
when they were looking through the picture.
Are you ever gonna get like a nice like little?
I want to. I've been
You
thinking
should
about it.
do a little
But
shutterfly. Yeah.
I want to kind of expand the project a little bit when I have
I
a chance, just because there's so many businesses in the area. But
want you. I gotta show you like later. In which I'm gonna bring him up so many times in this damn podcast because he's one of the people that helped me like switch the way of thinking of doing this project. But Justin Kuhn, he didn't. I posted one of the photos that he did of me, but he's doing 100 people portrait project.
That's cool.
Yeah. And his all motive behind photography is just all creative, not monetary. So he's like, it's all for free. If you tip him, you tip him. But just the way that he like kind of set up the idea of the project, I was like, well, I'm just gonna do an interview project instead of a podcast. But
That's fine.
that stopped
It
me from
worked.
thinking about welcome to the podcast. But he's someone cool. I feel like it's the same kind of energy of this just showcasing people. So I'm excited to see that expand. I think
Me too.
now you already got the connections. It's not weird like you're meeting people brand new.
Yeah. Facebook Messenger, I was messaging all these businesses. I'm like, hey, I swear I'm not some random stranger. I just need some help on this cool project.
At least you're not like some big scary man. Like you're sweet and innocent. Like I won't kill you. I could beat your ass because I'm in Taekwondo. But ciao. I love it. You're like a little ball of fury. All right. So how do we meet?
I don't remember it. I think it was because I had reached out to Michael Gavin about getting photography started at Marquette because there was not a program and I wanted to learn more, but
yeah, and he was like the biggest alum from there.
Yeah, and Mrs. Blakis had told me to reach out to him and just see what he had an idea about, and he's like, well, you might want to reach out to Meg Fairless, and I did after that.
Yeah. So you got into your photography business and then also did your senior photos.
Yeah.
And then working together with Riverbend Growth Association. My words are really good. There's probably a reason why I shouldn't do morning. We should have coffee next time.
Like business over a brew style.
Yeah. So where do you see your photography business going? Do you like still want to do everything?
I do. I plan on keeping it kind of as like a side gig, and that way it's kind of a creative outlet for me too. I'm not really sure exactly where I want to go career-wise. I know something related to marketing, but kind of more like the digital side of it still, so that way I can still combine everything together. And
so do you enjoy the social media stuff?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be such a huge thing for marketing, and I also get to make graphics. And for me, I'm huge on seeing the product of my work. And with that, I'm able to look at stats. I'm able to see my graphics shared all over the place. And
that's why I almost like, no offense to like any of the other medias that exist out there, but like whenever I'm talking to businesses about the benefits of social media compared to like the newspaper or radio or anything else, I'm like, all those analytics, I swear, are made up. I'm like, they just say some number because of some random thing they did a couple years ago, and that's what their average is. And I'm like, with the analytics that they give you nowadays is creepy. It makes me not want to be a part of social media just because you know your analytics are going to someone else's information. But I love it. Then you can know how to like hyper niche down into certain things, and I've been doing it for one of the businesses now, and it's like tiring, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of a struggle to make sure you're not getting too sucked into it because it's easy to do that.
My biggest thing is like doing backlog and then load up the drafts so that I don't have to like sit there and be like, okay, what am I going to caption this today?
Yeah.
No, I was talking about how there's this new AI where you can type in like a couple things that you see in the image and it'll create a post just for you.
Oh, wow.
I'm like,
that's cool.
We're going to end up here.
Yeah.
Like AI's taking over. I'm okay with it because I'm tired.
Yeah.
Let the robots work.
Yeah, trying to get your brain to work, trying to figure out captions.
That's the one part that I fail at. I'll sit there and overthink it a million times until it makes sense. And I'm like, okay. Then I'll still look at it and I'm like, well, it's done. I don't have to think about it anymore. Where do you see yourself? Like, what is your current, like, other than like achieving your degrees and trying to get into some other organizations, where do you see like your current big goal of like what would you be like aiming for?
For me, I eventually want to be a chief marketing officer of a company. I'm someone who likes being in leadership positions, and being able to kind of delegate tasks and have an overlook of how everything's going. So definitely being a chief marketing officer or like a marketing director somewhere.
Now, if only we could find like it's gonna be Alton Main Street or Rivers and Routes, one of the two like that. That's where we need to get you in, so that's community oriented too. But yeah, I can see you excelling in that, especially like being able to visually be creative and then like knowing how to work with people and a big variety, drastic, different types of people. That's fun. What was the funnest experience from networking? Like what's like some random person that you're like, I never would have met you, and now you're like really important.
There's so many. Like I can't even think of any off the top of my head.
Most of the community, I would be stuck on that question too. Like that's the whole podcast. Like networking is like so important. That's like honestly what made me. I hate advertising, so that's funny. I'm talking to the marketing director here, which I hate it, but I know how to do it. To succeed at least. But networking, I feel like it's the number one, like word of mouth is how I get all my work, and I prefer it that way just because then I know it's coming from a line of people that I enjoy working with. Because whenever I get like random people that come, it's like different expectations. It always sucks working with them. But networking, I'm always like, okay, they like me because they like me. Like, not just because they need a video or something like that. So it's important to network. Yeah, something for me that's been big is I'm always the youngest person in the room for stuff with the Growth Association. So it's kind of taught me how to talk to a wide variety of people too. And just kind of make my own presence rather than being viewed as the youngest person in the room and able to actually have a place. So I used to thrive in that. I've just recently gone through my old person acceptance that I'm no longer a young girl. I used to like thrive off of this energy where people would like, I wouldn't like try and cultivate it, but if I saw it happening, I'd be like, I shouldn't be offended. This is just funny to me whenever someone would be uncomfortable with me being confident in what I was doing at a young age. Like I would have wedding days where I was a videographer. Male photographers would be so offended that this 15-year-old is getting paid the same amount as them to be there and do a job. I'd be like, yes, I intimidate the old men. But I thrived in being the youngest because I started at 14 and working under Gebs. And it's and then seeing you start young too, I was like, yes. I was like, you got it. Just do it. Screw anyone. I'll help you whenever you get to your old person phase. You have to transition out of being the youngest. I still love. I've transitioned almost into still being like, not in the photography scene, but in videography. One of the only females. I only know like a couple others, only a few. And they're in St. Louis, not even local. So it's a fun. You almost have to like. Not let it hinder you. Like you can easily sit there and think of all the reasons why it sucks being the youngest, but there's like twice as many reasons why it's cooler. Yeah. Because especially now, it was different when I was at your age. People listen to you now. And I love it. Like, especially if you're going through the pandemic and seeing that we have to try all these different opportunities, they're more willing to try crazy ideas that we have. Back in the day, I would have to like convince them. And eventually they would try it after it would be like outdated and it would prove them right that I didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, well, if you did it when I asked you to do it, it would have been successful. But yeah, nowadays, like, you're in like a sweet spot of knowing the most up-to-date information, having the energy to do it and not being scared to actively do it. It's fun. I'm excited. My favorite thing to do for sessions is when people don't realize, especially when I was in high school doing sessions, on my profile on Facebook, I don't have pictures of myself. I have pictures of other people, and they'd be sitting there waiting for someone, and then I'd show up. I'm like, hey, it's me. And then just the looks on their face. They're like, don't worry. You saw my work. You know I do a good job. Yeah. I love it. Yep. Yeah, my always still today a little bit favorite is just like any type of intimidation. I'm just like, that's your own problem. Like, you can deal with it. I'll be your homie. I'm always about being best friends with everyone. Like, you have to make people comfortable. And well, I remember the whale sounds you did during my senior session. There's something that's hard. I mean, like, especially like being in front of camera, even like right now, you're so self-aware. Like, I don't like, I'm so frumpy and have this set up. And I'm like, I don't care, whatever. But for other people, It's like getting ready for church on Sunday for
Yeah.
a photo session. Like anxiety, like your hair's touching your neck weird. Like, I don't want to be here. And then you have to like, and then you're fighting with the kids in between the photos.
Yep.
Like, it's stressful. Especially when I get my stuff done. I'm like, okay, this is how my clients feel. So you're just like, distraction.
Yeah.
Distraction.
Well, during one of my sessions one time, one of the kids had gotten really mad, and I was on TNI, and he stormed off towards the playground, and then the older sister was only like a year or two older than him.
Yeah.
She looked at me, she's like, I've got this. And you just hear her storming after him, yelling his name. It's like, okay.
I'm like, I'm glad that you can handle this because
Yeah.
I cannot professionally do that. So yeah, there's like, that's one of the things that I've learned recently is like what I enjoy, what I don't enjoy, and actually saying no. I still can't say no to everyone, like especially families. And I do not like young kids unless I know them personally. Even sometimes when I know them personally, I'm like, why is your kid acting like this today? Like, they're hard. That's the hardest job is family photos. But like whenever you come from big families, though, I feel like it's easier. I'm an only child, so I'm like, why are you guys fighting? Why is Uncle smoking weed in the car right now? Like, can you come out here and take photos? Like, why is there all these dynamics that I don't understand?
Yeah, Steve, I think a big part that helps with me doing family sessions, I love doing family sessions, is working at TNI because I've been around kids. I was senior staff for 4 years and then junior staff for I don't even know how long before that. So I was working with kids for forever. So that definitely helped a lot.
You just got a huge. I would love to see like, because you know how I feel like when you are super successful, you always like humble on your resume. I want to see like the real like beefy version of your resume.
So it originally was 2 pages long, and SIU told me I needed to pare it down to 1.
Yeah.
So it's all on my LinkedIn though. If you need something,
that's what I need. I'll have that scrolling. It'll be like Star Wars credits. It'll never end. Just like right here between us, the whole episode. It's like your IMBD. I love it.
Well, the thing that cracks me up too is my certifications on there are they're like total opposites because I have all my social media ones that are on there, and then I have wilderness first aid thrown in there too, and it's a whole hodgepodge of stuff on there.
My thing is, it's important still because then it shows like how you could potentially niche into certain projects and how you work better in certain things. But
my ultimate goal would be to work for an environmental organization because that's something that I've been passionate about my entire life. Yeah. When I was little, my parents used to call me the tree hugger. So
there you go.
But
we'll find that marketing director TNI, or the bird sanctuary, or what other, or treehouse. But they're all pretty cool ones.
Yeah.
Did you ever work for Treehouse or no?
I didn't. We've worked with them at TNI for stuff. But...
Yeah. They're big collaborators.
Yeah. When I was little, my grandma used to be really big on taking me places, and we used to go to Treehouse a lot. And I think that's kind of what helps get me into kind of more the environmental side of stuff, too.
So, Chief Marketing Director of an environmentalist organization that's local to the Riverbend community. TNI.
That'd be cool.
Hey, Angie, we already know you. Can you create this position for your girl? I'll stir up some more membership so it affords the bills. But no, I'm excited. I think our community, you've got to really grow up in this big renaissance. What is that perspective to you of watching your community change and being involved in it?
It's been pretty crazy because, I mean, when I was little, it wasn't near as built up as it is now. I remember Alton having all these empty buildings sitting downtown, and now there's life back into them. And just getting to see the change with downtown and Godfrey, especially too. Godfrey was not near as close built up as it is now, and just seeing kind of the push for, like you say, community over competition. That's a huge thing that I've seen in this area. That's very unique to us, and it's awesome. Yeah, that's something I've talked to a few other people that moved from out into here, and they're like, that's not like most other places. Like, you don't have this, especially out internal and in industries, like, and then also crossing over different industries too. We're all super supportive of each other, and we try and do the best we can for our community. But what advice could you give to someone that sees something that they want to do? Because I feel like you see a lot of things that you want to do and you just go do it. What advice do you have for those people that know the things they want to do but don't know how to go out and achieve it? Don't be scared to talk. There's so many different connections you can make within this community, and everyone's willing to help. You're not going to get shut out. And really just using your resources and not being afraid to do it. Yeah.
then yeah, just like go do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get better at it as you go.
Yeah.
Don't expect the first to be good.
Yeah,
for sure.
Something that works for me is if I ever get super anxious about something, I tell myself that the anxiety isn't real. Probably really bad to do that, but
I wish I could do that.
But it works for me. I
tell post comment, it's not real. This isn't a real attack. It's the ghost shaking me. I wish. That's a good trick.
But I tell myself to tough it out. I'm like, you're fine. You can get over this.
Yeah. I feel like, it's easy to get in your head and you're self-sabotaging. Yeah. Adam Marburger, get out of your own way, you know? We sabotage ourselves from doing anything that we're potential of. And like what you said at the beginning of it, but not only just talking too much, but just your light. You don't hinder or like dampen your light that you shine out into the world. Just be your genuine self. And the right people will be attracted to your light, and you'll get to inspire some people. You inspire me. That's what cracks me up. Is like I have so many people that I got to help whenever they were looking for information like you, and then you guys end up being my inspiration. I love it. Like you give me so much passion because I see how hard you're working. I'm like, I'm just sitting here playing Minecraft, like putting off editing. Abbie's out here sorority college, which college scares the shit out of me anyways. I did anything I could to avoid that. And then growth association, everything else that you're doing, and relationships and life, and you're just killing it. I'm so proud of you. I am rooting for you always. Like, and I'm excited to see when we redo this interview. We'll probably do it 5 years because I feel like 2 years you're gonna be where you want to be. So hopefully out of college, but
yeah. Well, this time in 2 years I'll be graduating, hopefully. Yeah. So
insert picture. No. It'll be like the Billie Eilish Vogue. Have you seen those videos where they've interviewed her like every year since she first got famous?
Oh wow,
so it's fun seeing. First she's all like depressed, and then she gets rich. She's happy. Yeah. I'm like, oh, well, there you go. But no, I feel like I'm excited to see because you're taking every opportunity. You're putting yourself out there. You're doing immediately what you want to do. So I'm excited. Not to like gas you up. I'm just here to make your ego way too big. That's okay. Though. You're not going to be like rude about it. Like, all right. Well, I think this was a successful podcast. We'll right in an hour. So we'll cut about half of that out. But
sounds good.
We did it. That was a solid high five. You were a camp counselor.
Oh, yeah.